not a game, it's a rich thing.
Welcome to another deep conversation on Vinci to the World, your personal journey to health, wealth, and happiness. My name is Dino Delpesh, your host. I am an entrepreneur and a bodyweight strength coach. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's all good. Just stick around and you'll soon find out. My aim with this segment is to have very deep conversation with extraordinary people from the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and abroad. Now, these conversations are designed to bring you greater possibilities and insights into living a healthier lifestyle physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and wait for the big one, financially. Now, if you're the kind of person who attaches value to living a healthier lifestyle, personal development, and self-growth, this is your conversation. Hey, what's up?
Hi. Hey. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you fine. Can you hear me?
Okay. Awesome. Yes. Perfect. We're good.
Welcome to Vinci to the World.
Oh, thank you. What's that?
Welcome to Vinci to the World.
Yes.
Well, we have never really formally met. The way I got connected to you is because we're a part of the same mastermind group. So I figured this would have been a great opportunity for us to connect and share knowledge with our audience. And just to give you a quick rundown of what Vinci to the World actually mean. I'm from the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So usually people who come from this island is called Vinci. It's called Vinci for short.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
So maybe as
Nice.
a short introduction, is just a short icebreaker, before you tell us about who you are. If you had to have a superpower, what would it be and why?
I thought about this a lot, and I think my superpower would be just, like eradicating hunger, especially in children. That's one of the things that gets me a lot, and I think children should not be hungry at all. So there's a lot of, food insecurity. Not only in the United States, but worldwide. And so I think that would be my superpower.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, and where are you from in the United States? Where in America are you from?
California, so Central Valley.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's cool. California, come join the
Yeah.
party.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Well, I
for
hope I
sure.
pronounce your name right. I hope I pronounce your name right. It's Leonila Campos, right?
Yep, that's it. Not a
Okay,
lot of
cool.
people can say it.
Oh, wow. That's 1 point for me then.
Yeah, absolutely. For
Well,
sure.
based on what I've seen, I know that you are a certified dietitian, and also you have your MBA in business administration as well, and you are a nutrition coach. That's just a few stuff that I know about you, but just for the sake of those who may not know much about who you are, can you just tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So yes, you got it right. I am a registered dietitian. Um, do they have something like that over there where you
Mm,
live?
I believe they have. I believe we have. I've never met much
Okay.
actually. Yeah. I've actually been away from my
Yeah.
island for quite a while, so I'll have to do some searching.
Okay. Yes, it's we get confused, or a lot of people get confused with nutritionists and dietitians. So I won't go
Yeah.
over into that, but it's just schooling. It's basically schooling. So it's just a 4-year college degree. We do like a 1,200-hour internship. We have to take a state board exam, and then we
Okay.
have to have continuous hours to keep our registration. Um, and then I do have my master's in business administration. Interesting thing, my career is all science. So I love science.
Mm,
But when I started to think about, I want to become a business owner, I want to become an entrepreneur, I
mm.
said, well, I don't have a lot of experience in that. So why not, go to school and learn about it? So
Yeah.
some of the classes were really tough because it was all about like marketing and
Yeah, yeah,
um, finance. So I struggle a little bit on that, but yeah. So I finished my MBA in December, and and then I decided to join the master, the 6-figure mastermind class, and
yeah. Cool.
honestly, that has been really, really helpful in terms
Yeah,
of,
yeah. Same
understanding
here.
the business aspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it was a really great investment joining that group. Let's see what else.
Mm.
And I've been a dietitian for over 4 years. And so
Oh,
aside
wow.
from, working on my business, I also work at a dialysis unit. So where people that have kidney failure go get
Okay.
treatment because their kidneys don't work anymore. So that's my
Oh,
full-time
wow.
job. And then I'm trying to grow my business slowly.
Wow,
So
you're like a super mom. You're growing your business. You save people who has kidney failure. You have a background in science, but you did your MBA in business administration. That's like a serious superpower you have there.
well, thanks. Didn't think about it that way, but
I
yeah.
I kind of have a similar background story to you because most of my journey before like going to university, I even in university was science based. I did science in high school, I did science in college. My bachelor's is in engineering. And then at a particular point after graduation, I'm like, I don't think I want to become an engineer. I don't think I want to do engineering work. And I had the opportunity of doing my master's in an entrepreneurship program. And then I took that opportunity. And it seems as though I spent 5 years, in school doing science and 2 years doing, entrepreneurship stuff. And then that 2 years seemed more valuable than the 5 years that I spent. So I don't know if your situation was more or less the same, or I don't know.
Yeah, in a way. I guess, in for me, because I love what I do as a dietitian. I guess it was practical in terms of
Okay.
being in school for so long. But I do love the side of the business side of things, and so
Yeah.
going to business school was really helpful to understand the business side of things. Otherwise, I don't think I would have. I don't know, but but I have learned so
Mm,
much, and at the same time, I have learned a lot in the mastermind class too, like the
definitely.
application of what I learned um, in
Yeah,
the MBA
yeah, yeah.
program
That's
as
what I
well.
realized as well. I think the schooling system can only take us up to a particular point, but the application stage requires a certain level of coaching, that the mastermind brings, and it gives us the opportunity to connect with each other, just like how we're doing here right now. And I think that's where the power comes from. That's where the value comes from. Being able to share your ideas and having people who have similar interests. So when you have an idea, somebody's not going to tell you, oh, this is stupid, or this won't work, or stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
But
agree. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, continue.
No, I was just saying that I definitely agree. You have an idea, and then if
Ah,
you have other people that are, the same, going through the same things, they're not going to say, like you said, a stupid idea. It's just they're going to give
yeah,
you advice, coach you, mentor you,
yeah,
to guide you
yeah.
through the right path.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I had a question, like dietitian, nutritionist. I know, you said you didn't want to go there, but I'm curious because I don't know the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist, and why you need to do 4 years of a nutrition course and then after get your dietitian certification. Like, what's up with that?
Okay, yeah. So a dietitian, in order for you to be called a dietitian or a registered dietitian, you have to have those 4 years of college. And it has to be in
Okay.
like food science and nutrition or something related. Um,
Uh,
and then you have to have the 1,200-hour internship to prepare
okay.
you as an entry level dietitian. Almost like like doctors, right? They have to go to what is it called? Internship in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and then you have to take a board exam.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like to make sure
and
you don't
so,
kill people, you know?
yeah. um, versus a nutritionist, at least here in the US, anyone can call themselves a nutritionist. If you have a certificate that maybe a course that you took, um, and it took you like maybe a few weeks to do, you can call yourself a nutritionist.
Mm.
But you cannot call yourself a dietitian because you don't have
Oh,
the
wow.
schooling, you don't have the registration for it. And
Oh,
this is
wow.
also
Okay.
goes into play with like insurances, and then treating specific chronic conditions like diabetes or kidney
Mm.
failure or hypertension. So
Mm.
only dietitians are able to address those specific conditions dietary, like giving them advice in
Okay.
terms of food. Um,
Okay.
but if you're a nutritionist, because that's not your scope of practice, you don't have the school. But maybe you do have the knowledge for it, but in terms of
Yeah.
legal things,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
able to
Okay.
to be so specific, like provide medical
Oh, I
nutrition
get it.
therapy. Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
those are major differences.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. Now I learned something new here. So you're like as a dietitian, you're more or less you can cure people with food, you know, like diabetes, high blood pressure, and those stuff. You create the magical food recipe that they need to follow so that they can, be good with their body and their self. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah. And yep. In a way, that's we can look at it that way. Yeah.
So how does that work when working with clients? Like how does that work? What's the process like?
So if someone, let's say, if someone reaches out to me to say, I'm diabetic and I need to have control over my diabetes, then that's the only thing we'll focus on, making sure, it's mostly on. So again, my approach is something that they are going to be able to do. So it's not going to be just my plan. Let's say I'm not going to tell them, okay, this is what you're going to eat and this is what you're going to do. Although, essentially I'm the professional that would help them. But if I know that they're not ready, if I know that they're not going to follow
Mm,
that, then I'm kind of wasting my time. So I have to
yeah.
go with how ready the client is in terms of what the things that they can do. So if they tell me,
Mm,
I cannot count carbohydrates. That's
mm,
one of the approaches for diabetes. Count your carbohydrates to make sure that your blood sugars are under control. But if they tell me, I
mm,
cannot do that, then what's the point of me telling them count your carbohydrates? So we'll do a
mm,
different approach based on what they are ready to do. So let's say they are ready to maybe drink diet soda instead of regular soda, then we'll focus on that. You know, um, the process can be very, very slow at the beginning because you want them to create habits slowly, and so that's going to take time. So
yeah.
that's for maybe a client that has diabetes. If it's something
Mm,
more general, like I just want to lose weight, I don't have any health
mm,
conditions, then we'll focus on a different kind of plan per se.
mm. Yeah. Like talking about the habits, like how long, from your experience, how long does it really take a client to really change, a habit that may be, hindering them from getting results?
Oh my gosh. So it depends on the person. If the person
Okay.
is very consistent,
Mm,
and they're hitting, every week they're working on that specific goal,
okay.
then you can create a habit like maybe within 6 weeks. But if they're like on and off,
Mm,
it can be 12 weeks, it can be longer. So it
okay.
really depends on the person. If they're very consistent, as we know, if we do something consistently every single day, it becomes part of you, right? It becomes something that
Mm,
you don't have to think about it for
yeah, yeah.
once you do it. But if you do it like one day, yes, maybe you go 3 or 4 days without doing it, and you do it again. So it's very inconsistent, and so it's going to take you longer to create that habit.
Mm, I figure as much. So if you don't use it, you lose it. So
Right. Exactly.
And I think like the whole entire, the purpose of this conversation was more about sustainability and accountability. And it was very interesting that I had a conversation with Nathan. He's also a part of our group. And our entire conversation was about, sustainability, and how important it is, because he was saying that one thing that happens to a lot of, he mostly say ladies, but I think it happens to guys as well when they're trying to get results, whether they're losing weight, they're trying to get in a particular physique. They tend to do these crash course diets. They'll lose the weight quickly, but after they'll gain back even more than they have lost.
Right.
Is that something you usually experience as well with your clients? What you have seen happen?
Yes, yes. I usually I haven't talked to a lot of men about that, but the women that have approached me, that's one of the things they say. I've been yo-yo dieting or been on this
Mm,
diet on and off. I follow it for some period of time, and then I get tired, or I'm not able to do it anymore, and then I stop, and then I start eating again, or I start doing what I
mm,
was doing before, and then I gain the weight
yeah.
back even more. So yeah, it's something that happens to maybe a lot of people, or if not everybody that has been trying to lose weight, following a yo-yo diet, or following something that, like you call it, crash diet,
Mm,
uh, because like you said, it's not sustainable, right? If it's something that requires a lot of work for you to do, and you're doing it because then maybe you want to fit in a dress, or you want to be in a wedding or whatever, uh, and then you don't have the motivation to keep doing it, right? Or you don't have that drive or that why, then
mm,
like the likelihood of you going back to the old habits is going to be pretty high. So yeah, it has to be
yeah.
something sustainable that once you do it consistently. Again, consistency, and it becomes part of you, so you don't have to like really really struggle to do it. And so that's when you
Mm,
will create a lifestyle change.
mm.
Yeah.
So like what do you think is the main what's the main drive of consistency? Like you mentioned having a strong why. But when I look at myself personally, for me, I think like I've been doing it so much sometimes it doesn't matter what my why is. It just became a habit, and we also speak about that. But what about somebody, who have been dropping off and on, and they just can't hold it? What do you think is that number one determining factor that really, helps somebody to become more consistent as they're going on this journey?
I think really finding the reason why they are doing it. Sometimes, some people say, "Oh, I'm doing it for my family," um,
Hmm.
but I think we need to dig down. We need to dig deeper. Like, what if
Yeah.
you didn't have your family? Will you just not do it? So finding that why, like, okay, what do you see when you look at yourself? What do you see, or how do you want to see yourself down the road, like in 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, yeah.
So finding something that is not maybe the family, but maybe more like in themselves. What is
Mm,
going to get you out of bed to get that workout done, or get you, help you with choosing healthier choices, which
mm,
it can be really hard. Sometimes it takes time to really think about it, and it takes time for them to give you the answer. I don't think
mm,
they'll probably do that right away. Like I said, if they give you an answer right away, it's usually family. It's usually not so much about themselves. And so we want
mm,
to really dig down deep and say, okay, let's say if you don't have your family, why
mhm.
why do you really want to do these? And do you really want to, right?
Yeah, that's a good
Because
question.
yeah, so you can have sometimes we can be motivated, but let's say honestly, there's gonna be days, maybe lots of days, that you're not gonna have the motivation to do that
Mm,
workout, or to eat that, or choose those healthier options. So that's when you have to really really think about, why are you doing this in the first place?
yeah,
Is
yeah,
this something that I
yeah,
really want, right? Yeah.
yeah. It's, it's pretty interesting what you are saying. Like I actually just got off a call with a client, and but he a very interesting guy, very successful person, and he's been doing things at his age a typical person won't be doing. But still, even though he has a why as to why he's doing it, it still feels there's always this roadblock as to to get him past that next step. And I've experienced working with people who they know their why sometimes, but then things tend to get difficult, or this, I don't know, the self-talk comes in the way, and to
Self-sabotaging.
really, yeah, exactly, self-sabotaging. Like what Vince says about Vince says is Vince has a word that he used. Oh my gosh, okay, I can't remember it. But yeah, self-sabotaging more or less. So and when I meet people like that, the process of getting them past that particular way of thinking is always different. But how do you deal with a client, who maybe has a why, and but still it seems hard for them to wanna, continue.
Yeah, that can definitely be very difficult. So I usually try to
Yeah,
focus
yeah.
more on on the things that they're able to do. Sometimes we focus so much on the things that
Hmm,
we cannot do, right? Or like, I can't
that's
do
true.
this
That's true.
anymore, or it's so
Yeah,
hard.
yeah,
So I usually bring them
yeah.
back and say, okay, what can you do, right?
Hmm,
If you have, if you're able to do something now, what is it that you can do now?
hmm,
And so it brings them back to like, okay, that's true. What can I do now? And if it's even if it's something really, really small, like I'm able to drink more water, drink 32 ounces of water, whatever, three times
hmm,
a week. Okay, perfect. Let's focus on that. Let's work on that. And then
hmm,
we'll come back and then address maybe the other goals that we had talked about before.
hmm,
Because as humans, we usually focus on the challenges, we focus on the negativity, not so
hmm,
much on like the successes or the positive things that we can accomplish or that we've done. And so if they're still, maybe not, maybe they're still finding negative things or challenges, then if you've been working with them for a while, or even maybe not for a while, but if you've noticed that they've done changes and they have some success or some wins, then we talk about that, right? Like, what changes have you done, or what changes have you seen from when you started the program with me to now? And then,
hmm.
they'll mention them, whatever. So then we
Yeah.
focus on that, right? Like, imagine
Hmm.
what else can you accomplish in the next 3 weeks or in the next 12 weeks,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Just to
yeah.
think about that. So,
Hmm,
so like I said, sometimes I usually, even when I do check-ins with my clients, the first thing we go over is, what are your successes? What are your wins so far this week?
hmm,
And then after that, we'll go on to what are your challenges? What challenges do you face? And then we'll focus on the plan. How can I help you
yeah, yeah,
to make sure that
yeah.
you are successful for these next week or 2 weeks
Hmm,
or whatever the case may be. Um,
hmm.
so I think it's focusing on those positive things, right? The successes.
Yeah,
Sometimes it
yeah,
brings
yeah.
light to them, and they're like, okay, I know I
That's
can do
true.
this.
It's like
Yeah, it's
throwing a little bit
difficult.
of motivation in their bucket, a little bit of motivation.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of us, because we're so close to ourselves, we don't see, we don't see our progress. Sometimes we need somebody
Right.
outside of us to look in and tell us, oh, but look, you've been doing so great, you've been improving here. You know, like in my first conversation with George, he said that he told me this quote: if you're in the if you're still in the frame, you can't see the bigger picture. If you're standing in the frame, you can't see the bigger picture.
That's
So I
pretty
think that's
good.
what
Yeah,
usually
I
happens
like
with
that.
most of us. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Because like you say, you see yourself every single day, and you don't see a change. But
Mm,
if you've been working on yourself and you've been making changes, and then someone notices that, and then they'll let you know. So that's definitely a motivator too,
mm.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Mm. And I think we're now getting on to the whole idea of accountability. Like, what does accountability mean to you? And like, like how does that really help in any way? Like, I know how it helps, but maybe somebody who's listening may not really get what is accountability and how does that really work?
Yeah, so I think being accountable means just having someone that is going to not so much like hold you by the hand, although as coaches, I think we kind of do that. But is someone that is going to guide you, is going to mentor you, is going to help you in those times of like when you're like, okay, I don't think I can do this anymore, or
Mm.
when you want to give up. So when you're
Yeah.
accountable to someone, like you have to answer, not so much answer to someone, but like follow up with someone or say, okay, my coach is going to ask me how I'm doing on Friday. So sometimes having that, just that idea of you checking in with somebody, it kind of gives you that drive of doing it,
Yeah.
or that guilt if you're not doing it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
at
yeah,
least there's
yeah.
some kind of feeling, right? So you have a feeling, regardless, if it's like, of guilt of not doing it, or happiness that, hey, I accomplished this. I'm gonna,
Ooh.
I don't know. Can you still see me?
Okay, you're
Okay,
back. You're
something
back.
happened. I don't
Okay, go
know.
ahead. It's okay. It's okay.
Um, and so, being accountable, just means, that you are able to do something, probably at a greater success, as opposed to not having anyone or
Mm.
being accountable to anyone. Because you can say, I'm accountable to
Yeah.
myself, but if we know that when you're struggling, you kind of give up, then
Mm.
you're not a. It's better to have someone else, to be there for
Yeah,
you and to
definitely.
guide you, to provide you with those maybe tools or skills that you might need. Even that
Mm.
a quick talk and say, hey, I know you're struggling, but I'm here for you. Let's keep working on these goals, something like that.
Mm.
So definitely having accountability, having someone to hold you accountable, it's very helpful.
Mm. It is. It is. You just remind me of a recent client who started working with me. He usually works out, and then he came onto my program, and he said after when we had our first coaching call, he said that usually when I work out, if it gets hard, I'll just stop because now I have like certain things that I need to do, and then he's gonna check in with me. He said he pushes himself even more, you know. It's like that psychological game that plays on their mind when it comes to being accountable. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But
Because I
what?
think as humans, we don't want to disappoint, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
you have someone, it's like, oh, I don't want to disappoint that person.
yeah, yeah.
That's usually, so it's like you said, psychological for sure.
But what about you personally? Have you ever had a situation where you've been held accountable, and as a result of that, you you did something you didn't expect you would have done? Have you ever had such situation?
Yeah, absolutely. In our mastermind class, we had this exercise where we said, okay, we're not going to use our phone from this time to this time.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know, were you on that too? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I was on that as well.
Yeah, so it was I had to remind myself, that okay, make
Yeah,
sure that you don't use your phone from this time to this time.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so it really helped, right? Because it
Mm.
was it was all about just being more productive and using your time
Yeah,
to
yeah, it
to do
was. It
things.
was.
So it
Yeah, yeah.
definitely helped. Yeah. So when
Mm-hmm.
when Vince said, okay, next week we're gonna check in and see how you did and how your
Mm-hmm.
body did.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
had to make sure that I had a report, and then
Yeah,
I did it.
yeah.
Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done it. Being
That's true.
completely honest. So when you have that accountability and someone telling you, okay, we're gonna check in on Monday, and we're
Yeah.
gonna see where you're at. So yes, it definitely pushes you to do something. So yes, it works for even for us coaches too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting thing for me because my girlfriend, she's in Korea, right? So there's a big time difference. So we usually have specific time when we are speaking.
I
So
don't
I
think
had
I
to
can
be
hear
so.
you.
Can you hear me now? Mic check. Can you hear me now? Okay, and we're back. We're recording again. No, that was a long technical glitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm. So seeing that we have take up so much of the time, what we'll do just go into the final segment of our conversation. It's what I like to call Vinci Trivia. Is where I ask my host three simple questions about St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I give you an opportunity to also learn about this small island that is just a dot on top of the map. So let me see if I can bring this up. Okay, first question, right? The first question is, what is the capital of St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Oh my goodness. Oh,
You
not
have, you
fail
you
this.
have four options. I'll give you the options. Option number one, A, is it Kingston? Is it B, Georgetown? Is it C, Kingstown? Or is it D, Jamaica?
Oh man. See?
See? See, that's a really lucky guess. Yes, it's C. It's actually Kingston.
Oh man. Yeah, that was definitely lucky guess.
Somebody's been studying, huh? Somebody's been
No,
studying.
I'll take that. It's
Okay, so
funny.
the capital of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is known as Kingston. That's
Kingston.
Kingston. Okay, moving on to the next question. The next question is another very simple question. Where is St. Vincent and the Grenadines located? So the options are A, the Caribbean, B, South America, C, Southeast Asia, and D, Barbados.
Let's see. Uh,
Tough one, eh?
yeah. I'm not sure. What's it? A?
A? Wow, yeah. Okay, A is another lucky guess, yes. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a Caribbean island.
Korean.
It's
Okay.
located in the Lesser Antilles of the Caribbean, which is the much smaller island. Okay, if you
Oh,
need to
okay.
go and check on the baby, I think you can go ahead. Don't let her cry too much.
He's
And
okay.
the last question, right? What is the national dish of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Let me see how lucky you are. So far, you've been running on some good fuel. So, okay, the A, salt fish and spinach. B, bus up shot. C, breadfruit and jackfish. And D, pilau.
Oh no, man, this one is a tough one. I'll say D.
D, okay, I guess you got 2 out of 3 right. The
Yay.
national dish of the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is fried breadfruit and jackfish.
Jackfish. Okay,
Okay.
that was gonna be my second one, but yeah, close enough.
So if ever you gotta come to the island here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and you wanna enjoy, the national dish, something, that is local to here, you can just say, I want some breadfruit and some jackfish.
Okay, thanks for the tip.
I really appreciate you being on to have this conversation with me. We really dived into a lot of stuff other than the technical glitches. It was all good.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be, that bridge so I can share with you a bit about the islands here in the Caribbean. So whenever you're ready to visit, you're welcome. Just give me a nudge. If I'm not here, I can organize somebody who's here to give you the ultimate tour.
Okay,
And
likewise.
and one more thing, if anybody would like to reach out to you, like how can they, get connected? If somebody is in need of a nutrition coach or a dietitian, how can we work with you? How can they work with you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram as Coach. What is that one? It's not the dash, the one that is under dash.
Underscore
Underscore,
coach
yeah. Coach, and then that one, and Leonila, my whole first name,
Leonila.
Leonila. Mm-hmm.
Let me bring it up like that, right?
Let's see. I don't think I can see it.
It's to the bottom left side.
Uh, yeah, I can underscore.
Oh, underscore is there.
Yeah, so like that. And then on Facebook, it's just my full name, Leonila Campos. Um,
Okay.
and then that's it. Mhm.
Okay, great. So they can just Leonila Campos, they just go and send you a message, be like, yo, Leonila, I need some help with my diet and my nutrition planning. Need to get in shape for 2020, need to look sexy. And who do you work with though? Who do you work with? Like what kind of people you want to reach out to you?
So my focus is moms
Okay.
or pregnant women, but if someone reaches out to me that is not in the niche or category, then we can definitely talk about how we can work together.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing. Okay. Even guys as well?
yeah, that's fine. If they reach
Okay.
out for sure.
Okay, cool. That's amazing. This was an amazing conversation. I'll let you be now, and I'm looking forward to staying connected. This is just our first conversation. Maybe sometime down the future we can have another conversation. So thank you for
Absolutely. Thank you.
joining us
This
on
was
the
fun.
World. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And you have a
Yeah,
wonderful
and I
day.
learned. I learned. Thank you for the
Yeah.
facts. It was fun.
That's the idea. I'll be repurposing the conversation and turning it into a podcast. So once that is finished, I'll share it with you.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Mm.
Will you stay
You're
safe,
welcome.
okay? And take care. Talk to you soon.
You too. You too. Yeah. Take care,
Okay,
baby.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Okay, guys, that was another conversation and a deep conversation on Vinci to the world. This session, I had the opportunity of speaking with Leonila Campos. She's a nutrition coach and a certified dietitian. And if you guys are interested in, that type of service, you can find her on Instagram at coach_Leonila, or you can just go to Facebook and you can search for her by her full name, which I'll type at the bottom, which is Leonila Campos. Okay. Okay, and that's it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Peace out. I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties, but this is all part of the journey. I enjoyed the conversation and I hope you enjoyed it. You've made it to the end of another deep conversation on Vinci to the world. And I hope that this conversation has brought you a ton of value. As I said, that my aim here is to act as a bridge between two worlds, that of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that of the network of experts I've had the opportunity of connecting with throughout the years. Now, to ensure that my mission here has been accomplished, all I ask is for you to leave a comment in the comment section stating what top 3 insights did you gain as a result of this conversation. And also, if you like, you can also leave one actionable step that you can take in the next 7 days that is going to elevate your personal development. I'm Dino Delplesh, your favorite bodyweight strength coach. One love.